In Arizona, the mining town of Prosperity is known for its great production of gold, but the mines have been closed for a while. One night, a man is driving a truck full of chemicals and doesn't see the rabbit in the middle of the road. He makes a sudden turn to dodge it, causing a toxic barrel to fall from the truck and sink into the pond. The next day, Joshua visits the pond to collect some crickets, unaware of the toxic contamination. He has a bunch of spiders as pets, so he comes here every day to catch bugs that he uses to feed them. A week later, Mike visits Joshua because he's also obsessed with spiders and wants to check out his friend's pets, but he still gets scared when a spider jumps on the glass. Mike notices the spiders have grown unusually large, so Joshua explains he's feeding them some magic crickets and hopes this discovery will make him rich. While they discuss some theories, one of the tarantulas manages to escape from its enclosure. Then Joshua teaches Mike about all the different spider breeds he owns and introduces him to Consuela, a deadly queen who can produce acid to kill her prey from the inside. After Mike leaves for school, Joshua finally realizes one of his tarantulas is missing. He starts looking for it, only for the tarantula to find him first. It crawls on his back and bites his neck, causing Joshua to scream in unbearable pain. As he fumbles around, he accidentally knocks over the other enclosures, allowing all the spiders to escape. They start crawling all over the room and even attack Joshua's parrot. The next week, Mike tries to visit Joshua again, but when he passes by the pond, he's stopped by his mother Samantha, who is also the town sheriff. With the help of Deputy Pete, she's trying to retrieve the barrel and send it to a lab to identify the chemical that has polluted the water. She considers the area unsafe, so she makes Mike get in her truck to get him home. Down the road, a group of teenagers are driving their bikes too fast and pulling some crazy tricks. When Samantha sees them, she turns the truck around and pulls them over. Samantha tells her daughter Ashley to get in the truck too and gives the mayor's stepson Brett a fine. That night, Ashley spends hours on the phone and doesn't care that her brother needs it, so Mike messes with the cables to make her think it isn't working. Then he takes the phone and tries calling Joshua, but nobody answers. Meanwhile, Joshua's house is covered in cobwebs and his dead body serves as food for the spiders, who are now the size of dogs. At the mall, Mayor Wade announces that the town is having financial problems. He thinks this could be solved by building a commercial complex, but he needs the locals to send their lands. Everyone starts complaining against the idea, including Chris, the son of the mine owner who died 10 years ago. Chris recently came back to town and knows that his father found a gold vein in the mine, so he refuses to sell it. Wade and Chris begin arguing and Chris ends up punching Wade, but before it can escalate, Samantha pulls them apart. She remembers that Chris has always had a temper and reminds him to behave, but doesn't arrest him for now. Later at Pete's house, his cat notices a spider entering the vents and follows it. At the same time, Pete's wife reaches for a can in the pantry, but since she's arguing with her husband, she doesn't notice the spider hiding there. Suddenly the couple hears their cat crying out inside the vent as strange marks appear on the wall, looking like a cat's and a spider's bodies. They follow the noise as it moves towards the ceiling, and when the lights flicker, they hear the cat die. The next morning, Chris chats with his Aunt Gladys about why he left all those years ago. It turns out he beat Samantha's ex-husband up. He still has feelings for her, so Gladys dares him to do something about it. Meanwhile, Mike tries to sneak out of the house, but he discovers his mom has handcuffed his bicycle. Ashley is leaving to meet with Brett, so Samantha gives her a taser in case she needs protection. At that moment, Chris shows up with flowers to ask Samantha out, and she agrees. While they chat, Mike takes the chance to sneak out of the house and goes to Joshua's on foot. When he gets there, he's shocked to see all the cobwebs but not a single spider. Joshua and the parrot aren't around either, not even their bodies. Mike explores the area behind the house and finds huge footprints that indicate the spiders have grown even bigger. Next, he approaches the entrance of the mines and finds a very big spider leg. At that moment, he sees a giant spider at the back of the cave, so he leaves before he's seen back. In another area of the mines, Chris is making plans with some men to find his father's gold vein. After work, Chris is driving down the road and sees Mike, so he offers him a ride. During the trip, Mike tries to explain what's happening with Joshua's spiders and even shows Chris the huge leg, but Chris thinks it's a prank and doesn't believe him. Back in the mine, a man is still working and notices his hose is jammed. He tries blowing into it, only for a bunch of spiders to enter his mouth. As the smaller guys crawl out, Consuela appears to kill the man. When Mike gets home, he crawls through the window, but Samantha catches him red-handed. He tries to tell her about the spiders, but she's angry because he's sneaked out and thinks he's making up stories, which she blames on too much television. In the evening, one of Wade's ostriches gets killed and all the others begin panicking. Wade hears all the noise and comes out to investigate, finding the bones of the dead bird. However, he doesn't see the spider because it's hiding underground. One by one, more ostriches disappear around Wade as if the ground was swallowing them. The next day, radio host Harlan talks about all the dead animals people are finding in their homes and shares a bunch of conspiracy theories in a show. Meanwhile, Ashley goes to see the guys race on their bikes again, but Brett keeps her in her truck to share some kisses. He starts getting handsy and Ashley stops him, explaining she's not ready to go all the way yet. Brett can't take a no and tries to keep going by force, so Ashley gets the taser and electrocutes his groin. This makes him fall out of the truck and wet his pants. He says she's overreacted, so an upset Ashley drives away. At that moment the big spiders show up and Brett screams in fear. He runs to warn his friends, but they see his wet pants and think he's being a baby. Suddenly a spider jumps on one of the teens and kills him, so the others finally start running. Some of them manage to escape on their bikes, but the spiders still manage to capture a bunch of boys and eat them for lunch. The creatures even chase after the bikes to force them to crash and eat the driver. Brett speeds up and makes a big jump that allows him to kick a spider off, then he crosses the road. When another spider tries following him, it gets crushed by a truck. The other spiders jump on the vehicle and distract the driver until it crashes against some light posts, causing a small explosion that kills a bunch of these monsters. This crash also brings down the phone lines. Brett thinks he's defeated the spiders for good, but soon more show up so he has to speed up again to escape. He accidentally enters the mine and hits the wood at the entrance, making it crumble until it blocks the entire hole. As the spiders try to dig in to reach him, Brett leaves to find another exit. Meanwhile Gladys' dog hears a noise in the basement and goes down there to investigate. He finds a hole in the wall and starts barking, only for a huge spider to suddenly come out to capture him. When Gladys finally notices her dog is missing, she goes looking for him and finds his collar near the hole. She goes inside and discovers that her house is directly connected to the mines. At that moment the spiders appear and capture her too by trapping her in cobweb. Soon Chris also hears some noises and goes to the basement, where he finds the hole and big spider leg that makes him realize Mike never lied. In the morning Chris takes the leg to Mike, who explains this type of spider doesn't eat its prey immediately so Gladys may still be alive. In another room Ashley is destroying her picture with Brett when suddenly a spider crawls through the window and pushes her against the wall. Mike, Chris, and Samantha hear Ashley screaming and run to her room to find the spider wrapping the girl in cobweb. Chris tries attacking the beast with different objects, so the spider uses more cobweb to trap him against the wall too. Thankfully Samantha keeps a weapon in the house and finds it just in time to shoot the spider to death. Afterward Samantha calls Pete with the police radio and tells him to bring as many weapons as possible to her house. In the mines Brett is still looking for an exit when he comes across the dead miner. Nearby there's a bunch of people trapped in cobweb cocoons, and some of them are still alive. Brett watches in horror how Consuela feeds from the wriggling bodies and quickly gets away. In town, the barber is closing up his shop when he suddenly sees two giant spiders jump on a friend to start wrapping him in cobweb. At the police station Pete gathers as many weapons as he can and leaves in his car, unaware that a bunch of spiders are following him. When he makes it to Samantha's house, he hears something on the roof of the car and shoots through it, causing a green goo to fall on his face. At that moment the group comes out and Samantha shoots at the spider, opening the way for everyone to get in the car. Another spider tries to attack too, but Chris shoots it before they drive away. As the police car goes through town, many spiders see it and follow it. Eventually the group reaches Harlan's trailer and Samantha takes over his show to warn everyone in the area about the spiders. However, nobody takes her seriously because Harlan's show is always full of very fake alien stories. Soon a giant tarantula shows up and starts shaking the trailer while Samantha sends one last message. Everyone should gather at the mall, which should be safe because of the concrete walls. The tarantula pushes the trailer while Pete keeps on shooting at it until it falls dead on the ground. The trailer also falls and the people's screams are heard on the radio. A second tarantula appears with smaller spiders so the group rushes to leave in the car. Meanwhile in town another vehicle is having trouble driving because there's a spider on the roof and it ends up crashing. The locals come out to see what the commotion is about and finally see all the spiders running through the streets. People panic and try to run away as the monsters break through windows and jump on roofs to kill every human they can reach. Many spiders attack from underground, so a man throws a ladder to use it as a bridge and reaches his car to escape. However, the spiders are quick learners and begin tearing car doors off to reach their victims. When Samantha's team drives by and sees the utter chaos that has taken over the city, she uses the police speaker to tell everyone to run to the mall. Right now the only people at the mall are a few workers and Wade, who is happy to see a big crowd coming because he thinks they're there to support him. While everyone rushes inside, Samantha and Pete stay at the door to shoot at the incoming spiders and buy some time for the survivors. Once everyone is in the mall, a worker activates the gate so Samantha and Pete have to rush to get in too before the gate reaches the ground. After they make sure all doors are secured, an argument ensues about how to proceed. They need to call the army for help and Wade reveals he has a cell phone, but the signal isn't very good so Chris and Harlan volunteer to go to the roof to use the antenna. The rest of the people search every store for anything they can use as a weapon. Mike takes some perfume bottles and gives them to Chris, explaining this may confuse the spider's strong sense of smell. In just a few minutes Chris and Harlan make it to the roof and Chris starts climbing the antenna. The spiders are climbing the building too and Harlan has to keep them back with a few shots while Chris finally gets a signal. However, when he calls 911 the operator doesn't believe his story. Meanwhile the other half of the spider horde begins to pound on the front gate to bring it down little by little. Everyone waits patiently but Ashley notices Wade leaving through a back door. She tells the crowd about it and a mall worker realizes Wade is going into the mines through the basement. Samantha sends her kids to hide there while she and the other adults get ready to kill the tarantula, who finishes breaking the gate. Then it pulls back and lets hundreds of smaller beasts enter the mall through the new hole. The crowd immediately opens fire, but there are too many enemies, so they have to run to the basement. Chaos takes over the mall as more people get killed or captured by the spiders in every corner. Pete doesn't make it to the basement in time, so he lifts a shutter just enough to roll under it. When the spiders poke their legs through the shutter, Pete uses a chainsaw to cut them all. In the basement, the survivors discover that Wade locked the next door, meaning they're trapped. On the roof, the spiders are surrounding the guys, so Harlan jumps off to act as a distraction and lands on the bushes at the same time Pete comes out. The spiders are coming after them and the door behind them can only be opened from inside, so they can only run away. In the mines, Wade is shocked to find Brett. At that moment the spiders find them and Wade tries to take Brett's bike to escape, but a spider catches him and drags him away. Seeing more monsters coming, Brett jumps back on the bike to escape. In a mall store, the barber comes out of hiding and doesn't notice a moving tent until the spider reveals itself and jumps to catch him. Back to Chris, he climbs the antenna a little higher until he reaches the cables and slides down on them to get into the vents, which take him directly into the mall. Samantha sees Chris trapped behind the grill and helps him out before joining the others in the basement. Suddenly something starts pounding on the door, which quickly goes down. It's Brett, who is using some minor machinery to open the way. There are a few spiders behind him, so the crowd opens fire until they're all dead. There are more spiders trying to open the other door, so Samantha moves the machinery to block it before joining the group leaving through the mines. As they run through the tunnels, Chris notices a weird smell and realizes it's methane gas, which means even a tiny spark can blow up the entire place. A mall worker makes a wrong turn and is found by a spider, who immediately jumps on him to drag him to the nest. A second spider tries to attack the crowd, so they use a crossbow to kill it without sparks. Then the group keeps moving and finds the spider's nest where they are keeping all the prisoners in cocoons for the queen to eat. Everyone gets startled when something falls from the ceiling, but it's only Wade caught in cobweb. After freeing him, Chris tells Samantha to guide the group to the exit while he stays to look for Gladys. Before they split, Chris tries to confess his feelings, but Samantha explains she knew he liked her and that he beat up her husband because he cheated on her since Chris's father told her before he died. Samantha ends their goodbye with a quick kiss. Meanwhile in the basement, the tarantula breaks down the door and is coming after them with more spiders. In the mines, Chris checks a bunch of bodies until he finally finds Gladys alive and well. She looks up and finds the gold vein right behind Chris. At that moment Consuela appears, but Chris can't shoot her without causing an explosion, so instead he throws perfume at her face. Consuela freaks out and is confused for several seconds, which is enough for Chris and Gladys to jump on Brett's bike to escape. On their way out, Chris hides a matchbox inside a lamp. While Consuela chases after the duo, the crowd manages to leave the mine and find the generator. There's no gas to make it work, so Ashley offers the taser, which effectively gets the generator going. One by one the light bulbs inside the mine are turned on and they spark the matches, creating a huge explosion that spreads through the tunnels. Chris and Gladys speed up and come out just in time, but all the spiders including Consuela are caught by the fire. The explosion kills all the creatures while Wade whines because he won't be able to sell the mines in this state. Suddenly lots of cops, ambulances, and firefighters arrive with Harlan and Pete, revealing they were all fans of Harlan's show and that's why they came. They ask about other survivors, but Chris tells them Gladys was the only person alive among the cocoons. A few days later, Harlan